How do you recognize a truly purpose-driven company? What are its main attributes?
So purpose-driven companies are actually very easy to identify, and the first attribute that you see is their performance, because purpose actually drives performance. So if you look at some of the highest performing companies, you will see purposeful companies. Another leading indicator is the employees. If you look for inspired employees instead of just satisfied employees, chances are that's a purpose-driven company. So the way I think about purpose, to keep it really simple, is purpose is the why a company actually exists. And that, when that shines through, both in terms of the employee behavior and in terms of the performance of a company, it's really easy to tell which companies are purpose-driven and which ones aren't.
What is the difference between CSR and purpose?
So I mentioned that purpose is the why a company exists. There's also something that we're calling total societal impact, which is the way a company brings its purpose to life. Because you've got to follow through on the intent of the purpose and the authenticity of the purpose with real initiatives and behaviors that actually bring that purpose to life. So I like to think about total societal impact as the way a company uses its fundamental business strategy, its business model, all of its assets, its capabilities, its customer, its supplier base, its operations, to really bring that purpose to life. Now that's purpose, and that's total societal impact. I'll contrast that with CSR. And CSR isn't bad, but CSR is something that's done on the side of the business. It's akin to corporate philanthropy or generosity. All fine, but when I think about purpose and total societal impact, it's about embedding it in the core of the business and making sure that while you are simultaneously driving good business outcomes, you are simultaneously driving benefit for society. And that to me is the difference between purpose and total societal impact, core to the business, mutually beneficial to business and society, versus CSR, which is all fine and it's generous, but it's on the side of the business. And actually, unfortunately, when there's a downturn or when companies get too busy, often that's what gets ignored.
Why firms in Latin America are not embracing the idea that they should align their business goals with societal values?
So I'm not sure that all the firms in Latin America aren't actually embracing this. I think that in some ways they are less visible in how they're going about this. And when we think about examples of companies that are most purpose-driven, often we think of the largest multinationals and not the companies that hail from Latin America. But as I do have conversations with a number of the CEOs here, I do actually hear some wonderful stories of the way they really are thinking about the inclusiveness of the supply chains, the way they are thinking about being embedded in communities, be it around education or nutrition. And I think from that standpoint, there are quite a number of Latin American companies that maybe weren't there quite as fast as some of the multinationals, but are very much engaging in purposeful behavior.
How can technology be used to help drive purpose initiatives?
So technology is fundamental to so much when we think about digital transformation and changing the way we all behave and interact with each other. Technology plays such a fundamental role, and therefore it plays a fundamental role in societal impact. And I think it can do two different things. First, head on, there are technologies that change the way we live, behave, and what we can accomplish in the world. But I also think technology is an enabler. So when we think of the underpinnings of technology and the way it enables the data and analytics and the use of the information that technology can do for us, it enables us to get to the insights that help us figure out how we can use our business as a stronger force for good. So that's one thing. The second thing I'd say is we can't really know how well we're doing improving the environment, improving opportunities for individuals who may be more disadvantaged, unless we can actually measure what we're doing. And technology and the systems that we have around technology are fundamental to understanding what we're accomplishing, both in our business and for the world and society and the environment. So technology underpins so much of what we do.
How many women does BCG have at C-suite level on its board of directors?
Our executive committee is 30% women.